financial problems, elder law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is the truth when it comes to the importance of the credit score. Jenny Lingl, good morning.
Good morning, Ken.
Nice to see you. Pat Damasco.
Good morning.
And Brian Small, who I think knows a lot about credit scores.
Something like that, but I have a question for you.
Oh no, you're not going to ask me if I can handle the truth.
Well, I was, but can you? Can you handle the truth?
You can't handle the truth.
Well, let's see what the people that are watching can handle, because there's a lot of truth when it comes to credit scores.
All right, so here's the norm. So I'll introduce it this way, because Brian and I are often in meetings, Jenny as well, with clients, and the client comes back and says, "But Brian, what about my credit score?"
Credit score.
We're talking about either doing debt resolution, where the client's going to stop paying their credit cards and we're going to settle those credit cards over a period of time of 18 to 24 months so that they stop paying all the interest, or we're potentially discussing putting them into a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. It all makes sense, but there's this lingering concern on their face and worry. And it always comes back to say, but what about my credit score? So, what do you tell them?
Well,
What's the truth? What's the truth, Brian?
Brian,
the
what's
truth.
the truth?
well, the reality.
Isn't it true that if
You
they
like that?
do
The
this,
reality, law and reality?
they do this, they ruin their credit score and their lives are ruined forever?
Wow, that was,
Wow,
that
that
was
was-
dramatic. Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is that the truth? Is that what happens?
No, of
So
course
what's the
not.
truth? Because that's
So-
the concern.
So let's assume that your credit score is great, but you're in debt up to your eyeballs. And so to do
Because they've been
something,
paying all the debt. They've
Right.
been paying all the
Never
payments.
miss a payment.
so whether it's a 700 or an 800 or a 650, it's a good solid credit score. But you're in debt up to your eyeballs, you've got to do something to get rid of the debt. Whether we put you in a bankruptcy, whether we do debt resolution, whatever we're going to do is going to impact your credit score. It's going to cause the score to drop.
Oh my God.
However, it draws a line in the sand, after which, when you have eliminated the debt, your score starts to heal. It starts to get better. And the thing about it is it doesn't take very long at all for your credit score to recover. I find that most of my clients that file Chapter 7 bankruptcy have, within a year, are eligible for car loans and credit cards again. Within 2 years are getting really great rates on car loans. Unfortunately, from a bankruptcy standpoint, if you wanted to get a mortgage, because of FHA, HUD, and Fannie Mae guidelines, it takes about 4 years before you're eligible again for a mortgage. But let me give you a true story so you can understand how dramatically your credit score can heal. So I had a client who happened to be a friend of mine who I did a bankruptcy for. And before I did his bankruptcy, we pulled his credit score. I wanted to see what it was. And it was 409. Now, I've been doing this for
409.
26 years. Okay?
That's a formula for cleaning countertops.
And I
as
have never
recall.
seen before or since a credit score that low. 4.5 years later, he bought a house, got a mortgage, and his credit score was 749. So the key is once you draw the line in the sand, you have to develop good spending habits and not get yourself in trouble again. But assuming that you do those things, your credit score will heal.
Now, Brian,
Let me ask you two questions. Number one, you really have a friend?
Lawyer with a friend.
Yeah,
okay, I'm going to
that's
call
crazy.
BS on that. But number two, how many years before they get that credit way out through the roof and they're talking about filing again? Or
So-
do they learn from their
Now,
issues?
that's an interesting thing. There are
Some
a
do, some
lot
don't.
of what we call repeat filers. You can only repeat file once every 8 years for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. So
So that's one of the reasons the creditors give you debt or credit again, because they know that you can't file for so many
Correct.
years.
Now, Brian,
Absolutely.
oftentimes,
You're a
if we
good
have,
credit risk right after you're filing
Yeah.
a bankruptcy.
if we have someone coming in and we know that they're going to need a new car loan, their lease is about to be over, or they're just about to purchase a home, at that point, sometimes don't we delay taking action? We get the car loan.
Absolutely.
and then
We
Strategy.
manipulate the process using a strategy in order to keep the credit cards at bay while the borrower, the client purchases the home, purchases the car, puts them, like a lot of people will lease cars. I will advise people a lot of times, instead of leasing your car, go out and buy your car, get that 0%
So you don't have
interest
to worry about
financing.
releasing in 2
Refinance.
Right,
years.
and drive your car for 5 years. You know, and
You
and we
can't
do-
tell them to go get new credit card debt, though.
No, we don't
That's
want them
bad.
to incur any more
Well,
credit
but
card debt.
Point on that. When we asked about repeat filers, just so everyone understands something, if you file a bankruptcy and then you find yourself in the same problem again, the smart thing to do would be to refile. The bottom line is this: it's all about preserving future income for you and your family, so that when you get to retirement, you have some savings, you have a house paid for, and you don't have any debt. If in your 30s or 40s or early 50s you try it and it doesn't work and you fall back into that trap, that doesn't mean it's the end of the world. That means it's still time to take action, solve the problem going forward.
And your credit score will heal again.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Credit score is this: it's your pay history, your aggregate amount of your debt, and your amount of available credit. If you've been paying your credit cards on time every month, your credit score will maintain itself at a high level. It'll start to slip if you have too much debt and you have very little available credit. When we take a client and we stop paying on existing credit card debt, their pay history takes the dive that brings the score down. But when we settle the debt and the amount of aggregate debt goes down, the credit score goes back up.
I
And
see.
it goes up rapidly. The important thing, just like what Brian said, is credit scores bounce back. The financial industry, which we'll talk about after the break, wants you to think that if your credit score goes down, it will never come back.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Will I outlive my money?
Medicaid is so confusing.
A will, or do I need a trust?
What if mom needs to go in a nursing home?
At Samasco Law, we have the answers to all of these questions. Our attorneys will eliminate the confusion and develop a plan that's right for you. We are dedicated to veterans benefits, assisted living, and nursing home care. Samasco Law can help prepare you for a long future. Call Samasco Law today.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem. All right, so let's talk about the credit score and why the question's being asked. The reason why everyone asks the question is because the financial industry has done a marvelous job of convincing the American public that there's nothing more important than their credit score. I consider it to be absolutely brainwashing. But they've done a terrific job of it, and they've gone to great lengths. The classic to me is this. First of all, movie stars are always talking about the importance of your credit score. They have great songs about your credit score, little jingles, and now virtually every credit card issuer gives you your free credit score with your monthly statement.
Well, because when you get that credit score and you see it, they want you to think it's a badge of self-worth. They want you to make
Why
it
do they want you to do that?
Well,
Because the answer is because they're trying to help you. They want you to maintain your credit score so you'll be more financially responsible to pay your bills. Isn't it?
I call it hogwash.
Aren't they doing this to help you?
No, they're doing it to help them. You see, if your score is good, the banking industry thinks that will equate to you feeling like, okay, I'm good. I gotta pay this to keep my credit score up because my credit score is my value as a human being.
And you know what? They're 100% right because they have convinced everybody of that.
Yeah, well, no, it works for them.
Yeah, it works
It's
for
not,
them.
it's not
But
a
as
true
a family
statement.
member, though,
No, it's brainwashing.
for the young guy that's getting his new credit card and getting his life on, isn't
Pay
there
your bills
also a
on time.
sign? But
Sure.
isn't also a sign that he's doing something bad because he's not making his payments on time? He should readjust his spending and readjust his lifestyle.
Here's what it comes down to. Your credit score is not a badge of financial success. Your credit score is an indication that you're paying your bills timely and that you're managing your credit in a manner in which is acceptable to the credit card industry, which basically is just don't have way too much debt, but pay your bills on time. That's what they care about. Financial success is where your monthly budget of income coming in, less your expenses, leaves something extra that you're socking away into savings every month, and you're paying your bills on time, and you're saving for retirement. And
because you're not
that-
going to have a pension.
If you're doing those things, you will have a good credit score. But if you're not doing those things, you could have a good credit score, and the financial industry wants you to believe that still means that you're financially sound, and you're not. The
But
guy
you can
who's
be
paying-
financially sound and have no credit score. You can. If
Yes,
you just work
absolutely.
with cash and you don't
saving money?
have debt and you're saving money, who cares whether you've got a credit score at all? That's the difference. The bank makes you think that you have to have a good credit score. You can have no credit score.
People that come over from out of the country into the U.S. on green cards who have established credit histories in other countries, the U.S. doesn't recognize that. I've encountered that with several clients where they come into the country. My son-in-law won, and he goes and he applies for credit, and they're saying, "You have no credit history. We won't rent you an apartment like in New York because you have no credit history." That doesn't mean he's not financially strong. When you look at his balance sheet, he owns assets, he's got savings and everything else. The credit industry does what they want to do, and when they look at their credit score, it's all about them. It's brilliant. Think about it. They're not providing you your credit score for free.
Right.
They're paying FICO and whatever services they are for the right to provide you their credit score. But they send you emails. Hey, Mr. Jones, your new credit score is out. Go look at it in your account. Then they send you the email. Congratulations. Your credit score went up 6 points last month. It's all about making you so worried about your credit
That's so true,
score.
because every nice little lady that I see that comes in that can't afford her medicine and can't afford her senior apartment because she's paying on the credit card debt because she doesn't want her credit score to go down. And it's just horrible. Horrible.
I don't say it to them, but I think about it. Sometimes I do it in our seminars. Your tombstone does not want to read, when I passed away, I had an 850 credit score, but for the last 10 years, I was broke.
Right. I was eating cat food.
Yeah. And that's
But they do.
absolutely.
They absolutely do.
I mean, think about it. You're in your 60s.
Wait, here's the reason why. Let me just give you the reason why people are stuck on
Give me that reason.
the whole I gotta pay my bills. It's because mama raised them right.
Yeah.
Okay? Except that was old school. That was the old way of doing things. When banks cared for people. Now banks only care about banks, and you have to care about yourself and your family. And it is not wrong to make a financial business decision to protect yourself and your family to the detriment of Visa and MasterCard.
Right. And especially after mom dies, the kids should not care about mom having that debt paid. Right? So many people
absolutely.
take the money out of the bank account to pay off the debt after mom died.
And I always see it where dad passes away
And mom's
mom
paying.
is instantly grabbing the money to pay the credit cards
Right.
that are only in dad's name, and there are no assets in dad's estate. Sometimes I have to grab mom and say, no, you can't pay this.
They never believe you.
It's very difficult.
They just die to pay that
What I'll
off.
do with them in that situation, I'll say, listen, I realize he just passed away, you're in a stressful thing, let's do me a favor. Do not pay it
Wait.
for a month, and then
Right.
let's come in and talk about it. Then they realize, wait, I need that money to live on for the rest of my
Right.
life. I had one where she wanted to give $50,000 to American Express on his card. There were no assets in his estate. She had the proceeds from the life insurance. That's her money. She says, but we've got to pay it off. They're going to call me.
Right.
I said to him, disconnect your phone.
I got
Don't
one
answer
better.
the phone. It's not your bill.
Son gets involved with mom's care. He gets a home equity loan, pays off all her credit cards. Now she dies. He has to pay the home equity loan, but the credit cards would have gone away.
That's a crime. It's an absolute crime. We'll be back after the break.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem. It's time for announcements. Want to remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays 10 o'clock a.m., Saturdays 7 o'clock a.m., on KISS 105.9 FM on Sundays at 7 a.m., and then for Law and Reality Here and Now on WMUZ AM 1200, Saturdays at 11. It's time for announcements. Want to remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays 10 o'clock a.m., Saturdays 7 o'clock a.m., on KISS 105.9 FM on Sundays at 7 a.m., and then for Law and Reality Here and Now on WMUZ AM 1200, Saturdays at 11 a.m. and 2:30 p.m., and WMUZ FM on Saturdays at 11 o'clock p.m. Be sure and sign up for our monthly contest. Free $50 Visa gift card, Law and Reality hat, and a copy of your book, Dump Your Debt. Just go to the website. On the home page, there's a spot to pop in your email address, and you're entered into the contest. We have seminars coming up on Wednesday, November 7th, 2018, 6 to 7:30 p.m. This is a great seminar with a great title for the seminar. It's I'd Rather Eat Turkey Than Be a Debt Turkey. We're going to talk about all the methods and systems we use to preserve future income for you and your family, solutions outside of bankruptcy, solutions utilizing bankruptcy. The key point is this: if you're paying interest on credit cards and you have too much debt, you need to get rid of it. The method that you use to get rid of it, we will determine based upon your circumstance which is the most optimal, but the key smart play for you is to make sure you don't continue just to pay on that debt and pay interest month in and month out for the rest of your life. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Jenny Lingl is going to participate doing a segment on how to resolve tax issues. Sign up at thavgross.com, lawandreality.com, or call 888-235-HELP. Then on Wednesday, December 12th, 6 to 7:30 p.m., a smart present for your family, an estate plan. Your best Christmas holiday gift to your children and your family is to take care of business, get that estate plan done. In addition to that, you should also give them other presents so that the youngsters will have smiles on their face. But the family present should be an estate plan for your family. We're going to go through the elements of an estate plan, documents you must have while you're living, documents addressing your demise, how to address probate issues, how to avoid probate. Attendees receive a $300 gold certificate off the cost of an estate plan. Sign up at thavgross.com, lawandreality.com, or call 888-235-HELP. Remember, you can always come in to THAV Gross for a free consultation. Just go to the website and click on the appropriate box, and we will contact you and schedule the consult, or you can call 888-235-HELP. If you've got debt or estate planning issues, you can meet with Brian, elder law issues with Pat Samasco, tax issues with Jenny, business issues with myself, disability and workers' comp issues with Jeff Kirshner. Just take advantage of those free consultations. It's not a meet and greet. We sit down, we analyze the problem, we figure out how to solve your solution in the best possible way, and then you know what your options are, you know what it's going to cost, and you know the right path to follow. We've got free reports on the website, how to save your home from foreclosure, business formations, loans, and grants for small businesses in Detroit and Michigan, Pat Smasco's Retiree's Guide to Social Security, and an upcoming new report on resolving tax problems, the real solutions by Jenny Lingl and myself. Look for that. It will be available shortly. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV Gross, Samasco Law, Jeff Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Nothing provokes panic and fear like the threat of a school shooting. Unfortunately, we've seen a sharp increase in students making copycat threats in order to gain notoriety. I'm Macomb County Prosecutor Eric Smith. Students, this behavior will not be tolerated. Felony charges will be brought against anyone who threatens the safety of our schools. Parents, please talk to your children and pass along this message. If you threaten our schools, it will cost you your future.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Just as the credit score issue and our strategy, the whole point is this. When you're in a situation analyzing what's in your best interest, you have to prioritize. If you're buying a house next month, it's not the time to take action to lower your credit score because the credit score is relevant to purchasing a home. But if buying a home is not on the horizon and you're paying down $50,000, you're paying on $50,000 of credit card debt and you're paying interest at $10,000 a year and no money's going into savings because you're in this credit card trap, your credit score isn't the problem. Whether your credit score is 800 or 600, your problem is you're not saving for retirement. You need to prioritize. Credit score going down is not something that you want to happen. It's just not of consequence compared to the benefit that you get from getting rid of the debt. Now, an interesting thing, FICO 9.0. FICO is your big credit score. And FICO is a software program. That FICO 9.0 is the current program being offered to banks. Under this program, when you settle credit card debt, it no longer is counted against you in your score. That's a big bonus and an incentive to settling debt using debt resolution. Also, just for information, medical outstanding bills that are not paid are not counted against you in the score. Now, FICO 9.0 is relatively new. It's been out about 2 years. Banks are starting to use it because they have to buy the program. But that's the trend and that's the direction.
Why is that? Why are they not using medical or the settled?
Came out of the financial crisis time. First of all, medical bills, everyone kind of realizes when you get a medical bill, how do you know the bill is correct? If you get a bill for $25, you need to spend 3 hours of time calling the insurance company, the provider, the hospital, before you can verify that the bill is even accurate. Most people, I just was hearing this today, 75% of people just pay the bill because they don't want to go through the hassle of knowing whether it's legitimate or not. So they kind of
it happened to me.
It's too
we
punitive.
were in the car. I got that bill from going to the doctor, and I almost just paid it. Instead, I called up I said, what's
wrong.
going on? And she goes, oh, we billed the wrong insurance company. And that's why I got a bill for $185 instead of $10.
We were driving down to do the radio show, and I said to Brian, I'm very impressed. I would have just paid the bill because but what I do is I wait 60 days on a medical bill to see if they change their mind because I figured half the time
They could have submitted it.
Half the time they stop billing you. Every once in a while I get a check for $15 because I overpaid the bill. It's like how many times did I overpay the bill and not get the check is what I always wonder about. Quick numbers. $50,000 of credit card debt. You're right. $1,250 a month. You're making payments on those credit cards. $15,000 a year. Over 10 to 20 years, you're going to pay $150,000 to $300,000 on those cards.
And at the end of 10 years and at the end of 20 years, you know what you're going to have?
$50,000
$50,000 for the credit card debt.
I got a minute and a half. What's the way to get rid of that debt?
Multiple options. We can look at Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which will eliminate the debt outright. We can look at Chapter 13 bankruptcy, which will restructure the debt, pay back what you can afford at little or no interest, sometimes paying back nothing if you fall into the right category and your budget works for you. Or we can do debt resolution, pay back pennies on the dollar. Opportunity exists to get rid of that debt no matter which category you fall into. What has to happen is the analysis needs to be done.
Here's the point. If you're in that situation paying that debt, one of those three options is going to be right for you. The fourth option is to continue paying the credit cards for the rest of your life. That's the option the financial industry wants. That's why they give you your free credit score, because they want you to keep paying that $15,000 a year for the next 20 years. It guarantees you two things. You will have no money when you retire, and you will live like a pauper, and maybe you'll be able to say, but at least I had a 700 credit score. That's not what your life is about. What your life is about is you've got to at least get to the point where when you retire, you can pay your bills and live comfortably without the anxiety of either having to borrow from your children or being foreclosed on your home. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality. Thanks for watching.